Welcome to Laser Secrets, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of medical aesthetics. I'm Jamie, your guide to the science, safety, and strategies that help you deliver real results. Whether you're a new provider or a seasoned pro, we're here to level up your laser game because great skin starts with great science. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Quick Win Wednesday. I'm Jamie Thayer, and I'm so grateful you're here today, whether you're driving to work, getting your treatment room ready for the day, or taking a walk and maybe squeezing this episode in between clients. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your day with me today. If you're new to the podcast, every Wednesday, I share one practical business framework that you can implement to help build a stronger laser or aesthetic business right away. Not 50 things, not another overwhelming list of everything you should be doing, just one coachable conversation, one mindset shift, and hopefully one action you can take to move your business forward today. Because I truly believe small actions done consistently create massive growth. So today's quick win is especially for anyone who has looked at their to-do list lately and thought, how in the world am I going to get all of this done? If that's you, this episode is for you. So can I ask you something? Have you ever gotten to the end of a really busy day and thought, I did so much today, but somehow I still didn't get to that one thing I really wanted to accomplish? Yeah, me too. And honestly, I think that's especially common for those of us running practices and businesses. You're taking care of clients, you're answering questions, supporting your team, keeping up with messages, thinking about marketing, supplies, planning what's next, and trying to grow your business. And somewhere in the middle of that, you're also trying to have a life outside of work. It's a lot to carry. And I think that's important to acknowledge because when our list feels overwhelming, it's very easy to interpret that as I'm not getting enough done or I need to be more productive. But sometimes that's not the problem at all. Sometimes you simply have a lot of things that matter to you that are competing for your attention at the same time. That's a big difference. When everything feels important, it's really easy to look at the entire list and think, where do I even start? And I've learned that the answer usually isn't finding enough time or the energy to tackle everything. It's simply choosing one place to begin. Because here's something I noticed over and over again in my own life and business is that we tend to think motivation needs to come first. We think once I feel motivated or once I have the headspace, I'll create that content. Or once I just get a moment to breathe and a little bit of energy, I'll work on that project. Or once I have a quieter week, I'll finally work on my business or XYZ. But you know what? I've learned that motivation usually doesn't show up first for me. It shows up after I start. There have been plenty of mornings when my plate was already full and I just needed to do something like record a podcast episode or create content or work on the ROI Academy, not to mention everything in my practice at my own med spa. I didn't necessarily feel completely ready and I certainly didn't have the entire day figured out, but I started somewhere. Once I took that first step, something shifted. It was a little bit lighter. I felt accomplished. And very often I thought, okay, I can do one more thing. And that's where the momentum gets created. And that's why I believe the real formula looks like this. Action creates that momentum. That momentum builds confidence and confidence creates motivation, not the other way around. So whenever I catch myself looking at everything that needs to happen and starting to feel overwhelmed, I try to stop asking, how am I ever going to get all of this done? Instead, I ask myself, what's the next right thing? Not the next 10 things, not everything that needs to happen this month, just what is the next right thing? Maybe it's returning one phone call or following up with one consultation. Maybe it's just creating one social media post or having a conversation with your team. I want you to focus on one thing and then go from there. Now you might be listening and thinking, okay, Jamie, but what if everything feels like the next right thing? I get that too. And this is where I want to give you something really practical. One of the things that helped me tremendously when I started to get more organized and work on my time management came from a concept from the book, Getting Things Done. I started what I call my dump list. This is from the book, and it's exactly what it sounds like. I get everything out of my head, everything. The phone call I need to make, the email I need to send, the social media I don't want to forget, the team conversation I need to have. supplies needing to be ordered, or a project I've been thinking about for 3 weeks, along with personal things, business things. Everything that is taking up space in my brain that is an open loop goes onto the list. Now, for me, I use the Notes app in my phone and I dictate it. It just seems to go really fast. Because here's something I've realized. Sometimes the overwhelm isn't coming from the amount of work we're actually doing. It's coming from trying to remember all of it at the same time. Our brain is constantly going, don't forget this. I need to do that. Wait, what about this? Getting it out of my head and onto my Notes app gives me some breathing room, and psychologically it's proven it decreases our stress. So then I look at this dump list I created and I identify my top 10 priorities for the week. Not 50, 10. Those become the things I really want to move forward on that week. And one thing I do is I code things with different emojis, so that keeps me organized. And here's the part that made a huge difference for me. Every day, I try to make one of those top priorities one of the first meaningful things I accomplish of the day before the day completely takes over, before all the little things start competing for my attention, because it does happen. That's just real life as a business owner or manager. And I move one important thing forward. And notice I said move it forward. I didn't say necessarily finish it. Maybe the next right thing is making the phone call that gets the project started. Maybe it's writing out the outline or scheduling a meeting. Maybe it's even just creating a concept for a piece of content. That's still progress, and progress creates momentum. So my personal system has become first, dump list. Get everything out of your head onto either a notebook or the Notes app in your phone, then prioritize it. Again, I use emojis to kind of code the importance of things, then choose the top 10 things that matter most this week and ask yourself each day, which of these is my next right thing? And start there. That's it. You don't have to conquer the entire list. You simply keep moving the things that matter the most forward. Because sometimes getting organized isn't about figuring out how to do more. It's about getting clear enough to know what deserves your attention next. Some of my most productive days have not started with huge bursts of motivation. They've started with one small decision to move forward. And I've learned that when I focus on progress instead of getting everything else done that's unfinished, I create a lot more momentum and a whole lot less pressure. That's a lesson I've had to learn repeatedly while building businesses, because there's always another project, always another idea, email, always something else we could be doing. And the goal isn't to someday reach a magical place where everything's finished. The goal is to become really good at recognizing what matters the most right now, and then taking the next step. So I encourage you to try something with me this week. If your brain feels especially full, start that dump list, get everything out. Don't organize it while you're writing. Don't judge it. Just get it out of your head and onto the paper. Then look at the list and identify your top 10 priorities this week. And tomorrow morning, before the day gets away from you, choose one and ask yourself, what's the next right thing I can do to move this forward? And then do that. And give yourself credit for it. That's important too. Nothing feels better than removing something from your dump list after you completed it. It's actually very motivating. You do not have to do everything today. You just have to keep moving forward. So this conversation really reminds me of why I created the ROI Academy in the first place. Because I don't think providers need another place giving them 50 more things that they should be doing. Most of us already have a ton of ideas. What we need is help deciding what matters most now and how do I actually implement it. And that's what I wanted the ROI Academy to be, a place where you can get systems, tools, frameworks, templates, coaching, and all the resources you need in one place, but also a place that helps you to take those ideas and actually put them into action one step at a time. If today's conversation resonated with you and you're looking for more structure and support as you grow, I absolutely would love to invite you inside the ROI Academy. You'll find the direct enrollment link in today's show notes. And if this episode encouraged you, please think of one provider who might have a really full plate right now. Maybe it's someone on your team, a friend in the industry, or just another business owner who's trying to juggle a lot. Share this episode with them. Sometimes we don't need someone to tell us to work harder. We just need someone to remind us we don't have to do it all at once today. If you've been enjoying the Laser Secrets podcast and these Quick Win Wednesday coaching conversations have been helpful to you, I'd also love to invite you to take a minute and leave an honest review. These reviews help other laser and aesthetic providers discover us, and ultimately, that's what we want, to get these conversations into the hands and ears of more providers who can benefit from them. So thank you, truly. Every share, every review, every message I receive about an episode means so much to me. I want you to remember this the next time your list feels a little too big. You don't have to build an entire business today. You don't have to overhaul it today. You don't have to finish every project. You just have to ask, what's the next right thing, and take that step. Because one small action creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence, and confidence makes the next step a little easier. And then you do it again and again. And one day you look back and realize those small steps weren't small at all. They built your business, they built your confidence, and they brought you somewhere you couldn't see when you were standing at the beginning. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'm Jamie Thayer, and I'll be cheering you on every step of the way. Until next Wednesday, keep serving, keep growing, keep taking the next right step. And remember, small actions done consistently create massive growth. I'll see you next week.
Have you ever wished you had a business coach, marketing strategist, and implementation partner all in one place? That's exactly why I created the ROI Academy Provider Success Ecosystem for Zerona, Emerald, and CLX providers. Drawing from more than 26 years of experience in business, leadership, medical aesthetics, fitness, and laser technology, I kept seeing the same challenge over and over again. Incredible providers investing in amazing technology, but without a clear roadmap for growing a thriving, profitable practice. ROI Academy is where I share the systems, strategies, and real-world tools that have helped providers attract more patients, improve consultations, increase retention, strengthen their teams, and build practices they truly love. Whether you're just getting started or you're ready to take your business to the next level, I'd love to be part of your journey. You can learn more by clicking the link in the show notes, and I can't wait to welcome you inside the Academy.